to be here. It's a nice day, outdoor show, so it's going to be good.
This is the second leg of the tour that you guys did earlier this year.
Yeah.
With the American Carnage, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did the first leg go?
It was great. It was us, Slayer and Testament. And yeah, the crowds are great. We had a good time, and everything's been going very smooth. And it's continuing with this tour now. We have Anthrax out with us, and yeah, we're having a blast.
Awesome. And then you guys just played Sonosphere with Anthrax, Slayer, Metallica.
Mm-hmm. Big four, yeah.
Yep. And how did that go?
It was great. I mean, the first show we did was in Warsaw, Poland, and God, I'd swear up and down there was 100,000 kids there. It was just, it was something to witness, that's for sure. I'm glad it finally happened. You know, it's been over 25 years in the making. For whatever reasons, you know, that package never toured together in the past, but it's time. So I'm glad it happened.
You've been with Megadeth for about 6 years now.
6 years, yeah.
When you first started, you kind of started off just touring, and then you started coming into the recording sessions a couple of years later.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like when you first got into the recording studio with Megadeth?
That was fun because I love touring and all that stuff's great, but I like being creative as well. So when we went to do the United Abominations record, we went to like I think it was a 16th century or 15th century big castle in England that was owned by David Gilmour, Pink Floyd, and apparently the place was haunted. And his story has it that they up to the left. I think there's a bunch of accusations of ghosts and stuff. So, but yeah, the whole process was really cool. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I just like being creative like that. It's fun to create new music and stuff, and so yeah, it was a really good experience. Because the four of us were there with our producer Jeff Baldwin and stuff, and we all stayed in the same house. So it wasn't like we drive down to the studio and then go our separate ways. We were there 24 hours a day, and it was a really cool vibe. The whole we're in the middle of nowhere. I mean, the middle of endless fields and stuff in the middle of nowhere in England. So it was really cool. It was a really fun experience. It was cool as opposed to doing something in LA or New York. That whole different vibe, had a completely different vibe to it. So we can really focus on the music, and then that's what we did.
And then you joined Megadeth along the same time as your brother.
Yeah. Right.
And then how did it feel to be in such an iconic band with your brother who you've been playing with?
It was great.
For so long?
When Glenn joined the band, I mean, I was so excited for him. And I mean, I talked to him every day, and the whole deal with that. And I got the call at the last minute. 6 days before the tour started, I got a call to come into the band, but which was a shock. I mean, I'm glad it happened, but I'd already been talking to Glenn for about a month and a half when he had joined the band. So yeah, it's great playing in any band with my brother, but playing in Megadeth with my brother made it even better. So it's great.
And then you guys got a chance to reconnect with him earlier this year when you touring with Testament with you guys. So in terms of your musical taste, you have a wide kind of variety of music.
Yeah. Pretty much anything you can think of, from Chopin to Cryptic Slaughter. I like it all. It's they don't have parameters, musical parameters. I don't just listen to death metal. I don't just listen to punk or whatever. I like, if it's good music to me, it's good music. Regardless of what genre it falls under.
So do you actually go out to other concerts that you're not touring in? Or
not, not this year. This year I really haven't done a lot because we've been so busy on the road. It makes it impossible because you're not home. I really haven't done. I don't think I've been to any concerts this year. Yeah, I really don't think so because we had such short periods of time at home between tour legs. At that point, just really focus on being with family and hanging out and just kind of recuperating from the rigors of touring and stuff. So yeah, I really haven't done anything. I mean, of course I have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it just depends on how much time off you have and who's coming to town. But anything, I'm open to anything that's good, certainly.
Did it kill you to miss the moving pictures?
Yes, it did. I hated it. Yeah, it's you can watch on YouTube and that's all fine and dandy, but I wanted to be there and I wanted to see it, and I think I I left maybe the week before they played in Atlanta where I live, so yeah, I'm pretty pissed off about that.
Yeah, I was actually in Toronto the night that they were playing.
Yeah?
And I couldn't get passes, and then they were playing the Lave Valley Fair, which is around here, and I was flying out the day before, and so I missed it.
That sucks.
I was so pissed off.
Yep.
In terms of music, you know, obviously you listen to a lot of music. Do you listen to a lot of newer music? Have you gotten into any of the newer bands?
Not a ton. Again, it goes back to the same response of is I don't have a lot of time. I mean, we're so busy with our schedules. We get here, we get interviews, all the things that we do during the course of the day, that when we do have a day off, it usually involves a lot of sleeping and just hanging out. If there's, and again, and it's hard to find this stuff because all the stores are closing. So you know, it's not like it was back in the day where you just, you know, you go to the mall or wherever you're at, and there's 2 or 3 music stores in there, and they got a metal section or a rock section, and it's kind of a drag, you know. I haven't bought a CD, and it's been a little while now. So with that, I just usually revert back to my iTunes and listen to the stuff I have on there. A lot of 70s stuff and some newer stuff. I mean, I like band Drop. You know, I like band. I keep going back to them. Drop for a Cowboy. I think they're a really great young death metal band, and I think they're really talented and a good band. But I don't hear a lot of it. You know, I know those guys. My son got me into them, but also they toured with us, and they're good guys, and we became friends and stuff. So I think they're a really talented band, but I don't know of a ton of new, you know, current bands that are on the scene, to be honest with you.
Do you go on any of the social networking sites to find new music, or do you just kind of go off?
Not really. I mean, where do you begin with that? It's like, you know, what do you look? You know what I mean? It's difficult now. I don't dig it as much as going to the store and physically buying a CD. You know what I mean? It's so easy now. You can go to you can go to YouTube, and here's the new album from these guys, and just listen to it, and I don't dig that as much. I would rather physically buy the product and absorb it and look at all the credits and the artwork and all that stuff like we did back in the day. So it's kind of a drag again that the music industry is in such a shambles right now. You know. So
I'm waiting for a band to release an album that's just one track, so you're forced to listen to the whole album all the way through.
Right. Actually, I've heard. I'm not sure who was talking about it. One of the artists was talking about it. I read it online or something, and they were thinking about doing that. So you would actually have to, you know, listen to the whole track, which is not necessarily a bad idea. But again, they can, if they want to steal it off the internet, they can steal that off the internet too. So until somebody finds a way to combat that and find a solution, the industry will continue to suffer as it is now. Yeah.
Do you think that CDs are going to go away, you know, in the near future, or just?
Yeah, I think it's very possible. Yeah. I mean, we're all selling a fraction of right up and down the board. You know, from the most popular band to the smallest of bands on an indie label. You know, it's right across the board. The sales are way down. So if it continues to go the way it is, it wouldn't surprise me if they became obsolete. But you know, this is turning into a depressing conversation. Yeah, you know, it sucks. The whole thing sucks. What can you say?
There's the whole resurgence with the vinyl and you know, people, you know, redoing the albums and stuff like that. But I feel that vinyl is going to stay, you know, forever pretty much.
It will, but it's in small numbers. You really think these kids are going to go out and buy a turntable? You know what I mean? And I shouldn't say kids. I mean the whole demographic. I mean, it's, you know, adults, kids, whatever. They're not going to go invest in a $500 turntable, and they barely make them anymore. So you know what I mean? It's, again, someone has to come up with a solution, and hopefully somebody will soon.
So what do you see kind of in the future for Megadeth after this tour?
Well, I would think once this touring cycle is over, and I don't even know when that is, ideas keep coming up and suggestions and stuff. So I would think that once it's done, we'll go back and do another record. You know, let's keep it rolling. We're not a nostalgia act by any means, so we keep wanting to do new music and stuff and letting the fans hear it. So you know, that's what I assume we're going to do at some point. Whenever touring's over, we'll take a little break and get together and start cranking out new tunes and see where it goes from there.
So if you could do a tour, not necessarily that you'd be playing on, but if you could just package together a tour of bands that you would really want to see live, what would that be?
Do they have to be functioning band, or can they be?
No, any bands.
Jimi Hendrix, Rush, Judas Priest, tons. I mean, you know, there's so many bands. Original Deep. I mean, Mark II Deep Purple, Mark III Deep Purple. I mean, there's so many bands that I'd love to see. I've seen a lot of the bands, though. I've been lucky. I've seen a ton of bands I started going to concerts when I was, 12 years old. So I've pretty much seen just about every band I wanted to see. I haven't seen Zeppelin. I would have loved to see them. Where I was going to go to the show in 1980, and John Bonham passed away, so that didn't happen. But yeah, Zeppelin obviously would be good. Hendrix would be cool. It would be interesting to see what he would do now if he were alive and stuff, where that would have gone, So yeah, that'd certainly be an interesting one, I think. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for taking time to sit down with us.
You're welcome.
And enjoy the show. Have a good one.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you later.
Right on.
System of control.